Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Starseeds and Lightworkers Collective. My name is Crystal, and I am so glad to have you back. We had a little break last week, sort of last minute break, but that kind of stuff happens when you're doing live television. And we are back today with Karen Holton. She is a author. She is an experiencer. She is an orgonite maker. She does everything. She is a teacher, and she's going to be here with us tonight to talk about some of her creations working with orgonite and also the spiritual and physical benefits that people can get from orgonite. Now, I know that orgonite is something that, especially if you're in the New Age circles, you've heard about it. But it's to be honest, I'm going to be honest. I've heard of it and a little bit, but I've never really sort of understood the full fundamentals of what it is. And I think this is why it's so important, especially like I keep saying till I'm blue in the face, especially as we're entering 2026, 2027. Those are some very, very heavy years. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening and a lot of negative energy. I mean, look, I'm not trying to get negative. I'm just saying there's going to be a lot going on. And now more than ever, we have to be, especially as light workers, especially as starseeds, and especially if you're an empath like myself. If you're an empath, you really need to protect your energy and you really need to be working with your energy now more than ever and to strengthen it because there's going to be a lot of rock and roll going on. All right. So I think this, especially at this time of year, we're having this, this show. And it's great because it'll help you to prepare for some of the things that are coming up and as well check out some of what Karen is working with because it's not only just about orgonite. She works a whole system of health and wellness. So she has a real wealth of information, and I think we can gain a lot from her insight and how it also ties in with what we're experiencing moving forward. So without further ado, Karen, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me back. I don't know why, but every time, well, this is only the second time, but every time I've been on your show, I always get infused with energy. So
Oh,
it's very
good.
interesting
Oh, that's
that
good.
you have a good effect on me as well. So this
Thank
is all
you.
good, right?
Perfect. So like I was saying before, it's not enough to just say, okay, this is orgonite, and there you go. Can you give us a little bit of a background? And I think maybe starting off with like the energy, because the body's electric, the body's energy. If you can sort of give us a run through about the body and then I guess about how the body works at an electrical magnetic frequency and how orgonite plays a role in that, and especially as we're moving forward in the future, how these types of healing modalities will be much more useful for the human body with all the energies that are coming in as opposed to, and look, just a disclaimer guys, I'm not saying you should stop seeing your medical doctor and all that kind of stuff. That's not what this is. I'm just saying that in addition to that, if there are things that we can do to help our bodies along, this is really the form for it. So Karen, could you help us with that?
I sure can.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a slide presentation that's going to get into the absolute nitty gritty on everything. But just as an overview, um, most people are, especially spiritual people, are aware that we are also spiritual beings. We're not just flesh and blood. We've got an energy body, we've got chakras, and we've got meridians. People have trusted in traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine out of India for thousands of years, getting good relief. And and orgonite is kind of an extension of that because it works on resonance, it works on frequency, and it has an absolute no harm can come to you from this. The most it could do is be attractive and make you feel good when you're near it,
Oh,
really.
okay.
So what started for me was I was having a lot of problem with electromagnetic frequencies, which come from computers and cell phones and all kinds of things from all of our screens, devices, everything.
Yeah.
And it was really getting me down. Now, around the same time is when I had my ET contact, and around the same time was when I got a download for the Quantum Health Transformation Program, which is a 9-step program, and orgone generators are actually covered in step 8 of that free online course.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even know what orgonite was, and this is how spirit works for me. I just either wake up in the morning with a thought in my head, or it just comes to me. I can't even explain
Yeah,
it.
I know what that means.
And I
Yeah.
knew I needed to get some orgonite. And I went, that's very strange. I did a lot of research. I tried to find out, what is orgonite? How does it work? Everything. There was very, very little information on the internet around this time. So I started off by asking my brother if he would make some for me. And full disclosure, I don't actually make these orgone generators.
Mm-hmm.
I design them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have somebody else make them for me. Because the resin, basically, it's crystals in resin. And when the resin cures, it shrinks and it puts permanent pressure on the crystals, causing them to vibrate and emit a stronger frequency.
Oh, okay.
That's basically, in a nutshell, how it works.
Okay.
And so I started, my brother made me my first couple batches of orgone generators, and I found a huge improvement in my quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple other people actually found me by spirit. I wasn't advertising. I didn't have a podcast yet. I didn't have a website. I didn't have anything. And my brother did have a website for his business, and he put on the creations that he made. And then people were just showing up at his website. Nobody even knows how this happened.
Oh.
And they started ordering my orgone generators and finding relief. Well, eventually, my brother stopped making it, and a friend of mine was interested in making it. And he was short of money, and I had a little bit of money at the time.
Okay.
So I said to him, I'll design them, you make them, and then I'll just buy them outright from you and then keep it as stock and then slowly sell that as I can to get my money back. And so he said, okay. And he made me some I have 10 of, some I only have 1 of, some I have 3 of. So none of these are mass produced. None of these are made in a factory or by slave labor or anything like
Yeah,
these.
talk about bad energy.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
I wanted, and I have images behind me of 2 of my pyramids, and I'll get into during the presentation why the pyramids are so popular. Pyramid means fire in the middle. And so what they do is they absorb ambient energy from the bottom at the halfway point in the pyramid at the halfway point.
Okay.
There, now it's showing up.
That's
At about
nice.
the halfway point, it gets concentrated, and then at the tip, it gets concentrated, and then it comes out the top. You can't see it or feel it. This is not plastic, and this is not glass. It's a special kind of organic resin that is completely inert. Once it cures, it's completely inert. But while it's wet and sticky, then it's pretty hard. The fumes really bother me, which is why I had my friend make them for me. Plus, he did such a beautiful job. I don't think I could have done a job as good as that. So if you want to, maybe we should get into the presentation because it takes a while.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'd love to answer some questions.
Sure, no problem. So
am I being too bossy?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's perfect. So we are going to be starting off with her presentation, and then I will just let you, so I'll let you take it away.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, is it showing up on the screen already?
Yeah, for us, but I don't know if it's showing up for you though.
Yeah, it's not showing up for me.
So-
So I'll go
Okay.
to my files
Sure.
here and open it. And So the first screen, so you can't see my screen. You can just get, you're just getting it from your screen. Is that right?
Yeah, and I'm
Sorry,
sharing
I'm
with the
not
audience.
really
That's fine. So
technical.
I'll
Okay.
let you do your thing, and then what I'll do is I'll just follow along.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the first slide
Mm-hmm.
says Zen Domes, orgonite, and the quantum field,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where it actually does its thing energetically. And if you want to go to the next slide,
Sure.
it should say energy and health. Understand the
Yeah.
quantum field. Everything is connected.
Mm-hmm.
The next slide shows the chakra frequency color chart.
Mm-hmm.
So you see along the top, there's the color light spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows you the different colors across the bar at the top, but also there's some wavy lines underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So each color has its own frequency. So, for instance, red also corresponds to when you're playing the piano, the key of A,
Yeah, I see that.
or yeah, is the same
Mm-hmm.
as the solfeggio of 432,
Okay.
and that also corresponds with the root chakra. If you go down to the bottom of this page, you'll see the
Mm-hmm.
root chakra has very long, sort of relaxed waves to it.
Mm-hmm.
And each time it goes up and goes down, those are oscillations. And
Mm-hmm.
so the root chakra oscillations are quite relaxed. Whereas if you work your way up to the crown chakra, the oscillations are really tight and close together. So they're a higher frequency. And this is not to scale, but it gives you the right
Yeah.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can see the sacral chakra corresponds to 480, or the key of B,
Mm-hmm.
or the color of orange. A lot of people don't realize that everything is connected. So
Okay.
what you can get from one modality, you could also get from another.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow is the solar plexus. It corresponds to the key of C, the color yellow, or the solfeggio of 528. And it goes up, up, up throughout all the different keys
Mm-hmm.
that you would find in music, that you would find in electricity or frequency,
Okay.
that you would see in color, and then it corresponds to the different chakras. And as you go from the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine, up to the crown,
Mm-hmm.
the oscillations become faster and more tight, but they all correspond. That means if you're having a health issue and you check out which of your chakras is tied into that, you can treat that health issue with a color or a sound or a key. It's all
Okay.
connected.
Okay. So it's all kind of vibrational in a sense. You know what I
All of
mean?
it, everything. Color is vibration, sound is vibration, our
Mm-hmm.
chakras, our bodies, everything works on a vibration. So if you want to go to the next
Yeah.
uh, screen,
Yeah.
it says the solfeggio scale and the chakra system. So this just points out kind of the same information, but laid out different. So
Okay.
you've got your solfeggio, 396 hertz corresponds to the root chakra. That's why, when we listen to the solfeggio tones or
Mm-hmm.
music,
Mm-hmm.
it's very beneficial for the health. And it's beneficial for the health because it's actually interacting with and strengthening the different chakras. We have more than 7 chakras, but for the illustration,
Yeah.
it's best just to stick to the
Yeah.
7. Most
Exactly.
people are familiar
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Even the different crystals are
Mm-hmm.
also corresponding to the chakras.
Mm-hmm.
So you have at the bottom, you'll see that red or black or dark stones correspond to the root chakra. Then the next one is the sacral chakra. That's all orange generally. There are exceptions to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Solar plexus chakra is the yellows. Heart chakra is either pink, um, as in rose quartz, or the green stones. The heart chakras, then there's the throat chakras. They're generally the lighter blues. The third eye chakra are things like lapis lazuli. And then there's the crown chakra, which is either violet or white or clear, like clear quartz stones. So all of those crystals also correspond with the chakras.
Okay. Wow.
It's really easy. I mean, our reality is coded to make it easy. To make it easy.
Yeah.
So the next slide shows that even the planets give off, like we have the Schumann resonance here on Earth. Each planet has its own frequency. So like Neptune, that connects more to your crown chakra, your third eye. Down at the bottom, we have Saturn, we have Pluto, and as all the different planets in our solar system are also correspond to frequencies, which also correspond to our chakras. So whoever thought of this reality we're living in, they did a great job, a really great job. We are all totally connected.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Can I ask you an interesting question with this?
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is that I'm looking at the different planets, and then I'm looking at the different crystals, and I'm looking at that, and what's sort of percolating in my head is that if you also look at your sign, let's say you're a Sagittarius, like moi.
Yes.
If you're a Sagittarius, then, you know, if you're using certain stones, and I'm wondering what would happen if I took a certain stone that was my stone, like for example, like turquoise. Turquoise is supposed to be a good stone for Sagittarius. Also, like, you know, lapis lazuli is something that a stone that I really love, and will show what I purchased. It's absolutely beautiful. But if I played the tones on these crystals, for example, and then I took that crystal and then I put it on my body, is that going to activate something? You know what I mean? Like, if we're sort of bringing everything together, would that be sort of something that I could do? Do you want to sort of comment on that one?
Yes, absolutely. You can do that. So if you want to go to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, it shows again the chakras. You can see the Sanskrit symbols, Sanskrit, sorry.
Sanskrit?
My mouth is not working.
Okay.
Thank you. On one side, and then on the other side, it says in words what the chakras are. But look down the center. This is what they govern. So survival, that's governed by your root chakra. Your sexuality is governed by your sacral chakra. Your navel or your sorry, I'm getting tired already. You know, your chakra that is just above your navel, that's your solar plexus. That is power. Next, you have your heart chakra, love, your throat chakra, communication, your third eye, intuition, and your crown chakra, spirituality. So if we're feeling like we need more love in our life, we might want to go we might want to go towards crystals that are green. Okay. You might want to go any kind of green crystals. If you want more power in your life, and this is in a lot of my talks, I talk about the power of anger. Anger comes from the solar plexus, and it's a source of terrific power because it's a pivot point. And it pivots us and gives us the energy to then change our life plan and to have more of what we want, which is the higher frequencies, is kind of where we're all going. So you can see that there are states of being that are linked also to the chakras. And if we go to the next slide, which shows across the top, it should say chakra, symbol, color, location, function, related areas. Okay, so let's just, rather than going through all of them, let's go to the throat chakra and the third eye chakra, because those are colors that resonate with you and your horoscope. Okay, so let's start with the throat chakra. Okay, the color that dominates that is blue. It's your throat. So if you have, and by the way, as you mentioned earlier, this is not medical advice. This is just information, everybody.
Yeah.
So say you've got a sore throat, or maybe you have a hard time with public speaking. Well, then you would want to use something like turquoise. Actually bring it within the realm of your body. You might want to wear it or hold it close to your body. And that will help with communication, self-expression, desire for truth. And the related zones are your throat, neck, shoulders, respiratory system, and thyroid. So anybody that has any health issues centered around the throat, the neck, shoulders, respiratory system, or thyroid are going to benefit from crystals and colors and things that are in this tone of blue.
Okay.
And then if you want to go to the third eye, the indigo, it's in the center of the forehead. It governs intuition, perception, and wisdom. And so if you want to enhance your spiritual gifts, have more paranormal contact, you want to protect yourself spiritually, you might go for something like lapis lazuli. And so this governs the forehead, the temples, the eyes, and the pineal gland. And we all know that the pineal gland is super important for us to do transdimensional contact, psychic contact, things like that. Now, if you want, I could go through all the other chakras.
Well, we maybe quickly just sort of pass through quickly, just sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the crown one, that is going to, that's violet or clear, like clear quartz. It's good for your entire mind and body, your brain, your pituitary gland, your nervous system, going down to your heart chakra, which is usually green stones, or pink, like rose quartz. It governs compassion, love, and harmony. And it also governs your heart, your lungs, your arms, and your hands. So someone maybe who's suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome, or somebody, and I'm not, again, don't substitute this for medical advice. Go see your doctor. But I'm just saying, these are things you can do to enhance your own healing. Solar plexus, yellow, governs energy distribution, personal power, motivation. It also governs your muscular system, your digestive system, your liver, your stomach, and your adrenal glands. Going down to orange, you have your sacral chakra. It governs emotionality, sexuality, creativity. And it also governs your reproductive system, your sexual organs, your circulatory system. And then finally, you have your root chakra, survival, stability, security, and that governs your bones, your bladder, your elimination system, your legs, and your feet. And so you can see that by going to the corresponding chakra, corresponding color, corresponding frequencies, corresponding crystals, all of those things are there to enhance your health. And they've been used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine, but also in traditional Chinese. And I'll get more into that as we go along. Sure. Do you have any questions, Crystal, before we move on?
Well, so far, I think it's really, really fascinating how this is working. And again, I think that, for example, if somebody that has an issue with their like a sore throat, that sort of thing, they can use these types of stones. And just to, circle back to what I would ask before, does playing the certain solfeggio tones with the crystal enhance the crystal that much more to make it more powerful? I think that was sort of what I was kind of.
It really does, and I want everybody to know that there is a lot of orgone generators out there, or orgonite out there, but I am the only one who has done lengthy ritual with every single piece. So what that means is every piece of orgonite that I've ever had, or crystal,
Mm-hmm.
or that I have now, or that I will have in the future, all get linked together on an energetic level. So what I do is when my friend delivers them to me or
Mm-hmm.
delivered them to me, the first thing I would do is wash them. Washing is a purification ritual. Then I smudged them with sacred smudge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played Solfeggio frequencies to all of my items. Then I put them out in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I do all of that, I do a ritual where I'm able to use a wand.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an example of an orgone wand.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I link up everything. So I start by bringing heavenly um, energies from the cosmos down through my crown chakra, down my body, my and into my heart chakra. Then I ground myself and I bring up the earth or Gaia energy up through my feet and up into my body, also in my heart chakra. And then I mix them together within my body and I grow that energy until it fills me up. And then I direct it out my shoulders, down my arms, through my hands, to my wand, this one, or I usually use just a big clear quartz wand,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I visualize that energy from my body, leaving my body and going into all my orgone generators and crystals.
Okay.
And
Wow.
it mixes and combines all of them. Now they're entangled, which means
Mm-hmm.
that when they go out into the world, whether they're going to Africa, whether they're going to South America, whether they're going to Australia or England, they're all forming a grid that is spread out over the earth.
Oh.
That's passing love and
Wow.
spirituality and high frequency goodness to the whole planet. And
Wow.
then I met another woman who was doing the same thing, and
Mm-hmm.
she was lived near Las Vegas, and she wrote to me, and I had her on my show, one of my shows, and she also makes orgone generators, and she infuses them and entangles them, and she sends hers out into the world. So we decided
Oh,
that I would send
wow.
her a bunch of my orgonite, she would send me a bunch of hers, and then my grid and her grid are now superimposed, going out even more powerful
Wow.
all over the world. Yeah, so
Wow. That's
nobody else
incredible.
so nobody else is doing this stuff. So people who order my orgonite, and when they get it,
Mm-hmm.
if they love it, I know that sounds bizarre, but if they
Mm-hmm.
love it and they use it, it actually will perform for them. Whereas if they just go, oh, that's a nice item, I'm going to put it on my bookshelf, forget
Yeah, no.
about it, they may not get the results.
No.
So
But
does
but
that
that's incredible. And I mean,
yeah,
bravo for doing that because like that's logic. Like I mean, you're doing something not only for yourself, but like you're helping the planet and you're helping people. And you know, if you think about it, because if everything is entangled, now we're bringing people together. You see, so it's not only just a
yes,
grid on the planet, but you're actually bringing people
yes.
together, and it just sort of just creates, you know, we are one type of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
it's
it's
unbelievable.
very
Way to
it's
go!
very exciting. Thank you. It's very exciting.
Excellent.
And yeah, so I'll just, if it's okay, I'll just
Yeah,
go back
sure, no problem.
to the slide.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we've covered the chakras, and we've covered, the health benefits,
Mm-hmm.
and we've covered what it can help with. And if you want to go to the next slide, it
Sure.
just shows a woman meditating, and it
Mm-hmm.
shows the chakras. So there they are, and that's roughly where you would find them on the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would take your crystals or orgone generators and place them right on your body.
Okay.
You can lay down, so because otherwise they fall off, but you can lay down and you can actually put them on your body. And each one of these chakras is actually like a wheel. It's energy turning very, very quickly, pulling different frequency energies right into the body so that our bodies can function properly. And then the next slide is of the traditional Chinese medicine
Mm-hmm.
meridian system. So anyone who's had acupuncture or acupressure or anything like that
Mm-hmm.
is familiar. They've been using this for thousands of years for
Yeah.
healing. And so when we get sick, it's because there's generally a blockage or a problem. So the energy is coming in the chakras in these wheels, and then it's being distributed to all the meridians in our body. But if something's wrong and we got a blockage or something's not working right, then we get what we call physical illness. And if you want to just go to the next one,
Yeah,
it
sure.
shows a daily course of 12 main meridians and the related organs.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are the chakras corresponding to different body systems, so are the meridians. And so it shows some of these in red and some of these in blue. And you can see some of them correspond to the small intestine. So if you've got, Crohn's disease, or you've got, IBS or something like that, or a different one is your pericardium, which another one is your lungs, another one is your stomach. So you can see that all of our body systems and our health are all
Mm-hmm.
linked on a vibration level to all the chakras, to all the meridians. And that is how you will affect your health, if you understand. I guess Tesla said it best. He said, if you understand the 369,
Yeah.
you can do anything. Well,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. But very few people are tying all of these systems together the way I have,
Mm-hmm.
and teach it to people. And the next slide, before I get into it, it's called Zen Domes, Orgonite, Energetic, and Mechanical.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
Well, I think for now, I think you know what it's for now I think that it's like I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you talk and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's what she's doing. That's what it is."
Yeah.
There's a connection. I think the only question I would have, and I know that we'll get to it at a certain point, but I've had the sneaking suspicion that these cell phones, I mean, it's not a sneaking suspicion. I think we're aware that the cell phones, the towers, and all that kind of stuff are changing our bodies, and it's not just affecting us at a very superficial level. But I think that some of the way in which people are a little bit skewed or acting up, that sort of thing, it's really related to the schism that these towers are causing with our own physical energy. Like we have I mean, yes, there's the food and all that kind of stuff, but the planet is really sort of freaking out, and I feel that these
Yes.
frequencies are flying around. You know what I mean?
Oh, they really are. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, if you, anybody out there who orders, I know you did. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
very much for buying my orgone generators. But anyone else that does it too, if you in the summertime, if you put your orgone generators outside to catch the sun, sometimes you're going to find a black helicopter above your house
Oh,
coming to check you out. Yeah. And
okay.
yeah, so I'm just giving you guys a heads up that could happen. I've never had them land or approach me, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely, and they also actually can affect the weather. But that's another
A
another
story for another
story.
day.
Yeah, for another day. So yeah, so let's get on with the next page.
Sure.
It has orgone energy accumulation. It
Mm-hmm.
has a picture of a pyramid made out of orgonite. At the top, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little energy funnel up
Yeah.
there, and on the bottom it has like intake.
Mm-hmm.
So orgone energy accumulation, the resin is comprised of 5 organic compounds and contains feminine traits, which are sticky and receptive, and it is an excellent insulator of electricity, a collection of the unseen. This container is the yin, or the feminine energy of the balancing. And at the bottom, it says piezoelectric effect created by blending certain minerals such as quartz, tourmaline, kyanite, zinc with a resin that shrinks when cured. When crystals are squeezed, they send off an electrical charge. This created electrical charged output is the yang or the masculine energy of the balancing. So we can see here we definitely have a yin and a yang, different properties. We've got organic and inorganic substances that go into the making of the orgonite. And the next slide has like a cutaway of a piece of orgonite with a quartz crystal in the center. Is that what you see as well?
Yeah, exactly. It's like green with a clear crystal. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a quartz crystal single point in the center. And then there's a mix of resin, which is organic, and metal shavings, which are inorganic. And they absorb the destructive energy, which could be from your cell phone or it could be from a tower nearby. It gets sucked in, and then the crystal is under pressure and it vibrates and it retunes it. So it doesn't prevent the bad energy, it just transmutes it into positive energy. And I'll just read what it says below here. It says, when crystals are combined with metals and organic resin, they become electrically polarized. This causes a piezoelectric effect, which greatly increases the influence and the cleansing properties of the crystals. Every crystal has its own unique resonant frequency and healing potential. Zen Domes orgone generators are the perfect addition to the home, vehicle, and workspaces. Further, sacred symbols are included to fine-tune the intention. Zen domes are ideal for gridding your home. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about this piezoelectric effect.
Sure.
But the point that I want to make is that it transmutes the energy. So it absorbs it from around, transmutes it, and then sends it off as being positive. If you want to go to the next slide,
Sure.
it shows some little bubbles.
Yeah.
And so these represent the sort of green ones represent a silicon atom, and the blue ones an oxygen atom. So the technical aspects of orgonite and piezoelectric effect. Piezoelectric effect is the ability of certain minerals to generate an electric charge in response to applied mechanical stress. The word piezoelectric is derived from the Greek pison, which means to squeeze or press, and piezo, which is Greek for push. So you can see here whether you are mechanically pulling on the crystal, creating tension, or squeezing it, causing compression. You can see that it causes the endpoints of the crystal to be polarized and to start emitting an electrical charge. And so that's why I would use orgone generators, because I'm energy sensitive, rather than just crystals. The crystals are great. They emit their frequency, there's got their color, their attributes, but when they're within this organic resin, as it cures, it shrinks and puts permanent pressure on the crystals. So the crystals will emit a far superior and much stronger electrical current that is now absorbing from your atmosphere, retuning it and sending it out into your environment. And it has around a 10-foot effect from the orgone generator to the outside. So you could stand about 10 feet away and still be benefiting. But if you arrange them in a grid, so I usually put a large one around the center of the house and 4 along the 4 corners of where I live, my suite, right? Now they're interreacting much the way we talked earlier about when they go out into the world. So they're causing an even stronger effect.
Okay, wow.
Do you have any questions about this? This is kind of technical.
Well, you know what? I know it is technical, but you know though it's fascinating because it really what I find so fascinating about it is that we are made to believe that we're helpless, that we cannot help ourselves, that okay, there's these towers, there's these computers, and there's nothing we can do, and that's the end of it. And what I like about the orgone generators, and especially when I was listening to how you go about create, like, well, you don't create them, but I mean, once you get them, how you go about your process of cleansing
Entangling
them and
yeah.
entangling them and all that kind of stuff. It just really shows that we have power. It shows that, we can really affect our environment and do something better for ourselves, because we are really being inundated with a lot of negative energy. And just to be clear, negative energy is not just about just negative energy from anywhere, but it's sort of like what's happening in the world, with other people, with a lot of the stress and all these things that are happening in the world. And we get affected by it because we are on this planet, and I think that this helps people to really sort of help to sort of find a bit of a space, like, that is just very clear, to just have your own safe space, literally. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I've had quite a few people actually buy the medium size. This is black tourmaline with amethyst on top. And these people work in toxic work environments. And when they started taking their orgonite and having it on their desk at work, they found that the people who normally come around and cause them stress for whatever reason, they just stopped coming over and bothering people anymore.
So, if you had like a special wand where you could zap them, maybe I'd buy that.
Oh, you can, but it just the energy alone being transmuted, it makes people, they don't even know. They just kind of go, whoa, I don't know. I don't want to go over there.
Yeah,
I thought
really.
It's pretty cool too.
It is pretty cool. Oh my God. And as well, now, often one of the first things that I heard about with orgonite was good for your computer. So if you have your computer, we're getting a lot of like radiation. Which sort of orgonite is the best one for computers, and which one is good for cell phones? That sort of thing, for TVs. Can you sort of give us a list of the orgonite that you have that is maybe good for that, so people who, if they're interested,
Well, I find the black stones like shungite, black tourmaline. There's a number of them. They are extremely good at mopping up that energy and transmuting it. But it isn't just the crystals, it's the shape too. And if you want to just go to the next slide, it says Zen Domes orgonite shapes affect energy. Okay. And then go to the one after that. Now it's showing you how pyramids work. Now, all pyramids work this way, whether they're orgone generators or whether you're looking at the Great Pyramid of Giza. They all operate the same way. They absorb energy from the bottom. It's concentrated about halfway up, and then it's concentrated again before it comes out the top. That's why most of us in the know that the pyramids were energy and communication devices. They weren't burial tombs.
No, I mean, this whole thing with the burial tombs is such BS. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just to get me started. It's such garbage.
It is.
No, it is. And I mean, there's a lot more that, this whole thing that they've discovered underneath the pyramids. And you know what? I'm sure that where they're digging there, and I don't know if they're going to reveal it or not to people, but I'm sure that they're going to find a lot of crystals and a lot of like copper and all that kind of stuff, because based on the work by what's his name there, I can't remember his name right now, but he did a book on pyramids and how they were actual powerhouses, and that they were there to
was that Graham? Was that Graham Hancock?
No, Graham Hancock. I think it was, I have to remember his name, but he is an engineer, an architect or something. And he said that the pyramids, based on his experience as an engineer, that these were actually, for lack of a better term, large orgonite, pyramids.
They are.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's take a look at some. So on the next slide.
Yeah.
Here are some images of, these are the Great Pyramids images that were taken. And the one on the left is done with Kirlian photography. I don't know if you're familiar with Kirlian photography, but it shows an energy imprint. So there it is on the left. Look at that. It's just twirling it around, concentrating it, and then it's coming out all restructured. Here are some other images that were taken, I'm not sure with what. kind of photography, but it definitely shows that there is some energy.
Yeah, there's like a heat signature, I think, in that picture.
Yes, there
Yeah.
sure is.
Mm-hmm.
So so my orgone generators absorb ambient energy and they retune it into the frequency of the crystals that are contained within. And these diagrams show how energy is absorbed and distributed by a pyramid-shaped orgone generator. So all the orgone generators I have all work the same way, but the pyramid ones get that added boost that the shape also affects the output, the energy output.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to keep that in mind. So um, spheres, pyramids, all of them emit the energy, but the pyramids are pretty powerful.
Yeah, actually, I just got a little comment here from Susan Johnson. She says it's Christopher Dunn. You're right, Susan. It's Christopher Dunn, and Christopher Dunn wrote a book about the Giza power plant, and so he's talking about how these pyramids are Giza power plants, and as you can see from the picture that we're seeing here, is that it's a power plant. I mean, look, it's twirling energy up into the air. Can you imagine? You know?
Yeah, if you move to the next slide, it also shows very clearly
Oh
the
yeah.
energy within the pyramid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
there are a lot more than what we were told. Are you on the slide that shows just the one pyramid in the
Yeah.
center?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can move to the next one, and here's another image of how the pyramids affect the energy, which is why I have so many in pyramid shape. They're not all, but quite a few. If you want to go to the next slide, here are some of my pyramids that I have. So the one on the left has carnelian and turquoise. It's extremely good for male energies, balancing out male energies.
Okay.
I have another one that I call the goddess that's actually more for balancing out female energies. And, you know, we all have male and female energy. And sometimes, like me as a woman, I benefit from having a bit more male energy. It helps me to be more outspoken. It helps me to think in a more holistic way. Because if you get too far on the masculine or too far on the feminine, you're out of balance.
Yeah, exactly. But it helps to, and it's funny because as a Sagittarius, it's a much more masculine sign, and I know I can tell that I have much more of a masculine, more of a masculine type of energy and all that, and so I definitely need to work on that. But you know, so even someone who's, let's say, for example, with the signs, if they're born an Aries or they're born a Sagittarius or that sort of thing, it's much more masculine, and I think that that could definitely help. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There's another pyramid on the right, and it has turquoise and black tourmaline. I call it pure heart because it supports your higher heart chakra, but it also absorbs the negative energy. So it kind of gives you a boost and protection. So some are more weighted towards protection, some are more weighted towards whatever attribute those crystals emit. On the bottom, there's a green pyramid. I actually have one here. I have to have a look in there, my other screen.
Yeah.
So I can see if I'm holding it up. This is
Is that moss agate?
What is this? No, it's peridot.
Okay.
Peridot. And there's a clear, some of them have they all have clear quartz inside, but some of them have the point showing, and the point is wrapped in copper. And then there's copper and the resin, and then the crystals. So you'll notice the symbols on them. So symbols, those who are familiar with sigils, know that symbols also emit energy. So the crystals emit, you know, specific frequencies of energy, and then the symbols kind of add an intention to it. So I use the flower of life a lot.
Okay.
Because, and then I use the double Merkaba. I use spirals. All the symbols that I put on them all help to boost it by adding a specific intention as well. And if you go to the next slide,
May I
I've
just
got,
ask a quick question?
yes,
With
doesn't
the
have to be quick.
yeah, with the symbol of life, that also emits a frequency, doesn't it? Like even just the
Yes.
way. Can you just give us a little more information on that? The flower of life in terms of the frequency that it emits.
Yeah, well, so the flower of life is all represents all of creation. So the blue one I have here, it has a bit of a lotus flower around it. Whoops,
Yeah,
everything's
there
backwards
you
than
go.
where I have my thumb. And it is the nature of reality. So that symbol has been around for also for thousands of years, maybe even longer than that. And what it does is it reminds us, and the intention is towards wholeness.
Okay.
It is towards fulfillment. It is towards creation. So it kind of gives that intention to the crystals that are also giving an intention. This beautiful blue one here, I love that color blue.
Yeah, that's nice. I like
It's
that.
actually clear quartz that's been dyed.
Oh.
But clear quartz is one of the most powerful crystals you can get. I just wanted it in a blue,
Yeah.
and that's why I got it in
But
a
the blue
blue.
will give off its own energy, right? Because I mean the colors.
Absolutely.
So I mean at
Ab-
the end of the day, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did actually. Very much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the next screen we should be on says Zen Domes, Orgonite Shapes and
Yeah.
Uses. And you want to click the one right after that. It shows that I have pendants that are disc shaped. I've got angel shapes. I've got different symbols on different pyramids. I have much more than that, but just to give you an idea of some of my orgone generators. So the shape of the angels, right away, it takes you in your heart to a loving place. So these are also emitting the frequencies that you want, but it also gives you the kind of visual of that your guardian angel or an angel to bring you, say the green one, to bring you more financial abundance or
Oh, okay.
whatever it is that you want. I don't have any more of the big one in the center there,
Oh, okay.
but and then if you go to the next slide, I
Sure.
have them in spheres. Spheres are also very powerful. They emit in all directions at once. I think I only have one of these left.
Oh,
But
really?
this is, yeah, but this is malachite. And
Okay.
what malachite does is it wicks away pain. So this is a wonderful massage ball that you just roll it around on your body and it wicks. The malachite emits that frequency, but it also wicks away the pain. And
Oh.
so these are really good. A lot of people who are massage therapists and that kind of thing, they buy these.
Okay. And
And
so
then
if you have something like, let's say you have like a, I don't know, a joint pain in your knee or something, that you can use this to actually.
yeah,
Okay, that's really interesting. Now I do have a question from Susan Johnson. She says, Crystal, can you ask her about the pyramid that repels negative people? What was the name of that pyramid again? Did you want to just
oh, anything that has the black stones. So it could be shungite, it could be black tourmaline, it could be, I'm trying to remember the name of that other black stone that's really
Is it like
popular. That
Apache Tears or
it's very glass-like. It breaks off in
yeah,
shards.
it's yeah, I know what you mean. But
But I have all kinds.
did you
But
want
anything
to
that's
your
black.
camera is a bit fuzzy. Did you want to just sort of
Oh,
yeah,
that's because I'm changing screens. How
yeah,
about now? Am I still fuzzy?
a little bit. I just wanted you to look good. I think yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, is that better?
It's a little bit. I think it's because you were showing something before, and I know sometimes the camera has a tendency to change
Yeah,
the.
now it's going to zoom in on that and then put me as the background. Sorry, I
Yeah,
don't
no
really
worries.
know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're almost finished the slide
Sure.
presentation. So if you want to go to the next slide, it shows The artificial or technical fields, electro and electromagnetic fields, electrosmog comes from satellites, cell phone waves, radar, radio. It even comes from geopathic stress under the earth. There's ley lines and things like that.
Okay.
It comes from high tension lines. It comes from underground cables. So we're being inundated in this constant environment. And if we're not protecting ourselves somewhat from it, we could end up with mental, spiritual, or physical health.
But that's what we talked about before, where I was saying that because we're constantly being exposed, that I think, and it's kind of scares me in a way, because I'm thinking a lot of children, babies that are being born into this type of like constant, fields and everything. I don't know if that's really benefiting anybody, especially young children, because young children are so their immune systems are not developed yet, and their bodies are not fully developed. And I just sort of think to myself, what the hell is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I worry about that too.
Yeah.
I've seen so many pregnant women that just take their cell phone and put it right in their
Oh
waistband
God.
against their belly,
Oh my
because
God.
they can't. There are people who, and this is no disrespect to people that are tied to their phones, but a lot of people, they don't go anywhere without their phone. Me, I like to leave it in the other room and forget about it as
Yeah,
often as I
exactly.
can.
So the stone was black obsidian. I think the black obsidian
But
was the
yes,
stone.
black
Yeah.
obsidian. So I have some butterflies with black obsidian. I've got some little pyramids with black obsidian. Yes, that is exactly right. I don't know why I couldn't think
Yeah.
of it. So we're still on the page with the geopathic and the electrosmog
Yeah. Yeah.
illustration, right? Let's go to the next one. Now, this is really interesting, okay? These are small discs that have the crystals that correspond to the chakras, but I also have the butterflies. And I want to tell everybody how they can create the most incredible environment for themselves.
Okay.
So, what I suggest people do is to run a hot, salty bath. And the salt in the bath can be a combination of different salts. It can be Epsom salts, sea salt, regular salt,
What, Celtic?
anything that's Celtic salt. And you want to put like 2 or 3 cups of that in your bath at least. And you can even use more. You can add some essential oils if you want. And you want some orgonite in the tub with you. Now, you don't want to take anything pointy like this.
Okay.
Because first of all, it could crack and break. They're not super fragile, but they are a little bit fragile.
Okay.
You don't want to take anything that's uncomfortable. So I have these beautiful discs that should be up on the screen right now. And they come in they come in a set of each of the different chakras. They've got the Sanskrit symbols. And then there's the butterflies. There's also the angels. Now, those are perfectly suitable to take into your salty bath with you.
Okay.
When you take them into a salty bath, a number of things happens. First of all, wherever you live, we have electrical outlets that have 3 prongs, 2 for the electricity and 1 for the ground.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so everything electrical in our house is grounded. What's it grounded to? It's grounded to the plumbing system. So your plumbing system goes into the ground and discharges excess energy into the ground. So your plumbing system absolutely grounds you. Your whole electrical system in your house or your apartment or whatever you live in, probably not a yurt, but everything else, it's grounded through the plumbing. So when you're in the bathtub and you're in a salty bath, you are supercharging your aura field, your light body, and you're grounding yourself, because you know what happens with salt water, it's very conductive.
Exactly.
So you're grounding yourself through the plumbing in the bath. You couldn't ask for a better environment to help you to heal.
Oh, that's great. That's
excellent. You can even throw in some herbs like rosemary. I often
Yeah.
throw rosemary, frankincense,
Or like
anything
lavender
like
oil.
that.
Lavender.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the orgone generators that you're going to use in your bath, they're going to emit their little frequency and they're going to restructure the water.
Okay.
So now you're going to turn your whole bath into a super duper spa healing environment for
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Okay. Wow.
And I have two videos all about how to go about using them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go to the next slide.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
this was Dr. Emoto. So
Yeah.
this is the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that words also affect
Yeah.
uh, water.
Mm-hmm.
We know, and so all of the work that I've done on my orgone generators to quantum entangle them, also I've put in there love, and I've put in there the high frequency emotions that
Mm-hmm.
also help to fine tune it. And if you want to go to the next slide,
Mm-hmm.
these are the two podcasts I made. This is a guided meditation for the therapeutic bath with Karen Holton, and the therapeutic bath, a guided meditation for spiritual contact. So
Okay.
there's two videos that not only give you all kinds of ideas on how to set up this amazing bath situation. I call it a therapeutic bath. I don't know what else to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And how to use that even for us to make spiritual contact.
Okay.
And the next image is just some of the, like I have pendants. I have small amethyst is super good for dogs and cats. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a couple of pet orgonites that are for dogs and cats. These in the center, some of these are sold out, but some of these I still have that shows you some of the small discs that you can use. Down below, I've got another butterfly, and I've got two of these other discs. These are a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
expensive because they have shungite in them and they're expensive to make. So you have a
Okay.
layer of shungite, a layer of copper, and a layer of either clear quartz or citrine or
Mm-hmm.
amethyst, depending on what you want to do. You can sleep with these, you can keep them in your bath.
Okay.
Um,
And you can put
yeah,
them
you can
under your
do.
pillow. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely. And or you could even line them up under your mattress where your
mm-hmm.
chakras would be
Oh,
while
that's
you're sleeping.
smart. Smart.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so
So
smart. Yeah.
so these are my own unique brand.
Mm-hmm.
They're ethically sourced, handmade, and double charged for maximum effect. I felt
Okay.
that was important for them to be ethically sourced.
Absolutely.
And so that's it for the slideshow.
Yeah.
Uh, but I bet you know a lot more about orgone generators than you knew before we
Well,
started.
absolutely. And the thing is that, like I said, as we were sort of coming into this, I was saying that, um, I've heard of the organ generators, but I never really sort of understood what they were. And I didn't really understand how they were made and all that. So you've really sort of given us a very good education about that. And that's great. Now, your kitty here, the kitty in the picture, what kind of are there certain orgonites that are that cats and dogs love more than others? Because I just love the
Amethyst,
animals.
amethyst,
Amethyst, really?
amethyst. Oh yeah, I get people who
Oh,
have these small dogs that are
okay,
really hyper,
okay,
and they put one of the pet organites on their animal,
okay.
and it calms them right down.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. So if you've
okay,
got a pet, a dog or a cat, and it's undergoing some stress,
okay.
amethyst,
Oh,
absolutely
that's great. So
amethyst.
if you're like moving or something or stuff's going on in the
Mhm.
house, I guess the amethyst would be a great. I mean, look at that cute kitty. Yeah, and the butterfly one, I actually have. I That was one of the ones that I got, and I absolutely love it. I'm just gonna sort of show this here.
I included the magnet, but I didn't stick it on
Yeah,
because
I
you may
know.
not want to stick a magnet on it. You might, like, some people want to put them on the fridge or stick it, to metal, and some people don't. So I just included it, but I didn't
Absolutely.
attach it. So you could have a choice. And if you're going to use that in the bath, which
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend,
Okay.
then I would not put a magnet on it.
No. Okay, because a magnet would change the frequency, I guess, right? Like the magnetics.
No, I don't really know. I
Mm-hmm.
would probably just fall off in the tub and go
Okay.
down the drain. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay, wow. This is great. Guys, if you have some questions that you want to ask Karen, put them in the chat and we'll ask some questions. And I did have one of our. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. And Kelly was talking about black labradorite. I didn't know that labradorite came in a black color. And that's pretty good because labradorite is really a really amazing stone. And that's a stone that the usual labradorite is something that you can use for connecting with higher beings.
Yep.
And I did not know about black labradorite. So thank you, Kelly, for bringing that up to our attention. And I think here, Cloud Kicker 72 says black candles are also good for protection, according to her psychic friend. And that's true. And it's funny because a lot of people see black as evil, but it's not. Black is actually a very, very protective color. It's very
Yep.
protective. So it's just because in the West we sort of associate black with like death and all that kind of stuff. This whole society is so silly. But like I mean,
Yeah. It's
black is actually a
backwards.
very, very protective color. So and it actually, like we were talking about before, black obsidian especially, smoky quartz, Apache tears and other black stones like shungite definitely absorb negative energy. So black is a very good color. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
yeah. And I think also one of the things that we were talking about before when we were saying, I don't understand why a pregnant woman would put a cell phone. I mean, we all know that these things emit, frequencies. Why would you put it next to your baby? I don't know. Anyways, but that it causes cellular mutation and DNA and rapid cell growth. And like, I mean, I don't know. I thought that was just sort of kind of clear that you just don't do that sort of thing. But anyway, I digress. But oh yeah, so Kelly says here shungite is actually not a crystal but mostly carbon. Okay, well thank you
Mhm.
so much for that information, Kelly. I did not know that. I just and shungite is good to put in your water. Okay, so I guess if you want to absorb the negative energy, you can use the shungite. That's how you use it in your organ generators, right? Karen?
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it in my water. I would
Hmm.
put it underneath a container of water. So
Okay.
there's some glass between the water and the crystal.
Okay.
And what shungite is it's been it comes from the volcano and it gets cooled very quickly, but it's got organic matter in it,
Okay.
which is what causes it to form tiny little what they call buckyballs or tubules within that attract and trap negative energy and then neutralize it. So,
Okay.
she's right. It isn't strictly a crystal. I call it a crystal because I
Mm-hmm.
call everything crystals.
Yeah.
Uh, it's
Gemstone.
hardly, yeah, it's actually not as hard as yeah, it's a gemstone. It's not actually as hard as like black tourmaline
Mm-hmm.
or anything, but when they're inside, the resin matrix, they're probably,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have to worry about breaking them, but you wouldn't want to throw this at
No,
anyone.
obviously not. But let me sort of, go a little bit further off to the side here and ask when, because I know that you're an experiencer and you're going to be coming back later this month to talk about your second book. And your
Mhm.
first book, for those of us that were here, is Transdimensional Meet the New Neighbors. So if you haven't picked up this book, you really want to check it out. It's an excellent book. And we talked about it. You can check out our video that we talked about it. And then for your second book, it's going to be Transdimensional to Meet the Greys. It's a picture book, so you can sort of check that out. You can buy these books on her website and check that out. But she'll be back later this month to talk about that. Now, this is sort of like a segue into my question. Are there certain stones, or would you ever consider making a generator that would be specifically for connecting with extraterrestrial beings? How about that? Huh? How about that
Well,
for a question?
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
And I have thought about it a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that I want to do. But guess what? My friend is no longer making orgone generators. I'm without an
Oh,
actual builder of orgonite right now.
okay.
So all I have is what I have, but I've given it a lot of thought. Personally, I think I think that ETs are a lot more receptive to picking up our thoughts and feelings than what we realize.
Okay.
And I think it takes a tremendous amount of courage for any of them to want to come into our realm, into our 3D reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because humans are, well, let's just face it, a lot of humans suck.
Yeah, they do.
They just suck. They
Yeah.
don't try. They don't care. They lack
Mm-hmm.
empathy. They lack compassion. Well, ET's already dealt with all this shit in their realities. For them to have to be around us must be
Mm-hmm.
almost excruciating.
Yeah,
But
really.
I believe that when we talk to them sincerely from our heart,
Mm-hmm.
and we ask them for contact, and we ask them because we know there's better ways of doing things. Humans, as far as, I don't want to get political, but as far
Mm-hmm.
as humans leadership goes,
Yeah.
it sucked for a very long time.
Yeah.
Those with the power do not want to share it with the common
No.
people. And
Mm-hmm.
ET wants to see things change as much for us because
Absolutely.
they're picking up all this anguish,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that if we're sincere and we do some things to help raise our frequency, so um, I recommend people take a look at what they're eating so their
Mm-hmm.
bodies are getting the nutrients and especially the minerals
Mm-hmm.
and the vitamins. And those things are not so much in the food anymore. Like, I'm not trying to say you should or shouldn't, but I am saying we want to raise our frequencies. A hot, salty bath with orgone generators is a great way to make contact.
Okay.
I have made contact several times doing that.
Okay.
Next time I come back in a couple of weeks, I'm going to talk about my friend Bob the Gray.
Okay.
And Bob the Gray, if I want to get a hold of him, the quickest way is to get in the bath. I know that sounds
Really?
ridiculous,
No, no,
but
but it doesn't sound ridiculous because we just discussed it, that how it's a really, like, water in general is a great transductor. Water
yeah,
in general. But then on top of it, if you have the organ generator and you pop it in your bath, and also if you have some essential oils, some herbs, like you said, and even if you have some nice music playing, especially if they have certain solfeggio tones, you're making
exactly.
yourself into this big conductor, like this big sort of, like, tube of conductor.
Absolutely.
So, and then also your intention just sort of like cherry on top. So that makes perfect sense to me. And I think with the bath also, it changes your body as well, because we are like more than what 70% water or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so we are infusing our body with the energy and with all the and of the liquid. So that makes perfect sense. I think that also, I mean, certain stones, like I said, something like labradorite is a stone that I know I've used in the past. I mean, everybody has different stones, but I feel that labradorite is a nice stone that helps to sort of really connect you. And if you, like you said, you have the right intentions and everything, I think if you have a bit of labradorite and you have your intention, of course, you're going to pick up on it. Now, I wanted to look, I know that we talk about, okay, humans are bad, they suck, but in our defense, that
not
they
all,
do.
not all of
Not
us.
all of them, but a lot of them
No,
do.
but
But I know what you
some
mean.
do.
But in our defense, though, like we were talking about at the beginning, we have a shift, and I think that a lot of people. I know you're talking about how people, they're picking up the anguish. I think people also. I think the ETs are also picking up the fact that we're tired. I don't know about you. And I don't know about anybody else out there. I am so freaking tired. I'm tired
Mm-hmm.
of the shit that's going down all the time. I'm tired, and it's just a point where, if 10 years ago I would have been like, yeah, I'm just tired. I'll take a nap and I'm fine. But this is a different kind of tired. This is a tired where I'm tired of living this way. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of the way the world is working. I'm tired of seeing animals being abused. I'm tired of seeing people, and I'm tired of it. Period. And
Mm-hmm.
it's important, and there's something in me that feels that something big is changing, something is coming. And that it's definitely going to, I mean, for all the guests that we've had on the show, you included, everybody, we know that there's a big shift coming on this planet, and that it's going to involve ETs at a certain level. You know, it
Yep.
definitely going to involve them. And I think that if you're a part of this podcast, you know this, you know, people, who am I talking to? I'm talking to people who already understand this sort of concept. So
Yep.
there's nothing new that I'm
Mm-hmm.
bringing out here. You know what I mean? But I think what's happening is that the organ generators and a lot of the products that you're making is just helping. That's that one next step to help people to connect and to prepare their bodies, you know, with these organ generators, to prepare their bodies to be clean and to be energetically aligned with what's happening. So for me, it's really, it's a part of the next step. And this is the reason why I wanted you
Yep.
here tonight, is because it was important to bring people to that next level. You know what I mean?
I agree. And if it's okay, I'd like to just say something about Labradorite.
Sure.
I have a pendant available on my website that's Labradorite, but I also have some small pyramids this size, that are, each one is for a specific chakra.
Okay.
And when it came to the third eye chakra, I was tempted to use lapis lazuli, but I used Labradorite instead,
Okay.
for the third eye. So yeah, it's an extremely effective. But what really is the most effective is what we're attracted to.
Okay.
So, people say, well, what color should I get, or what, I would spend a little bit of time on my website just reading the descriptions and taking a look at there's tabs in the description that tells which crystals, what their properties are, what their best use is. And honestly, if you just are attracted to a specific color, a specific crystal, you don't even have to know why. That's the one for you.
Okay.
It's we'll have a natural desire for what's good for us.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. And you know, I think that what's happening as well is that people are starting to pick up on that. You know, I think people are starting to ready. They're what's happening is, and you know, sorry, let me just roll back here just a minute.
Sure.
So we know how, right, what's happening on the planet right now. We are sort of, as they say, as Bashar says, separating the wheat from the chaff. And we have some people that are choosing to stay within the 3D reality. No judgment, but there are people who are choosing to stay in a 3D reality, and there are those who are looking to move towards, you know, fifth dimensional frequencies. And for people that are choosing to move towards fifth dimensional frequencies, we are already starting to bring online a lot of the gifts that we have, the gifts of sight, the gifts of you know, attracting, of manifesting, and all that. And it's not just about manifesting money. I mean, manifesting a certain life or a certain, you know, results that we want in our life. And sometimes your higher self is already sort of like connecting with you and saying, you know, you need to get, sort of like what you were saying. You said, you know, you woke up one day and you said, oh my God, I have to be orgonite. No, no, no. It's because something, your higher self is saying, now's the time. Maybe 10 years ago you wouldn't have been ready, but now, right now, who you are, and you're ready to go. So I think what's important is for people to not to ignore that, and to listen to it, and to say, talk to me. You know what I mean? So that's why people are really, and I think you're also coming at a time as well when people are needing this kind of information and needing these types of products in order to help them along in their journey. So thank you so
Yeah,
much
we
for
need
doing that, you know?
Oh, you're welcome. We need spiritual remedies
Yeah.
because we're moving more and more into becoming these spiritual beings. So we need spiritual remedies. Now, if I go to the doctor, um, which I used to do all the time, and I used to follow all their advice, and I got in a really bad physical and mental state because of it.
Okay.
So I'm kind of wary to go there. But if I went there and I mentioned anything about my energy body or anything, he's going to just think I'm
Yeah, I'll
crazy.
laugh you out
He's
the
not
room.
going to want to. All he knows is prescriptions. That's all he knows. And those things don't work for me. I've tried them. I've tried them all. Everything I was told to take, I tried that, and I
Yeah.
ended up much worse condition than without it. And since I switched over to essential oils,
Mm-hmm.
crystals, orgone generators, good quality food,
Yes,
meditation, all of these things, my life has just gotten better and better
absolutely.
and better. And I
Absolutely.
want to live my best life. We all
We
have
all
the
do.
right to live our best lives.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you know what's interesting is that I find that I'm not going to get into the health issue that it was, but I remember having a health issue when I was in my 20s. And I had tried, and again, guys, use your judgment. You know, this is not something that we're saying don't see your doctor, all that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about my own personal issue. And Karen just spoke about some of the stuff that she's talking about. It's personal to her. It's just personal to me. And I had tried the certain, you know, creams and all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't working at all. And somebody just said, you know, try this, you know, just do vitamin C and try in a particular way. And it took away the issue and it never came back.
Mm-hmm.
But using, you know, the pharmaceuticals. But I think, you know, and it's not that, and it's not that I'm trying to say that the modern medicine hasn't worked, because modern medicine has served us, definitely. We're living longer lives. We have certain, you know, medical achievements. Obviously, if you're in a car accident and you have somebody who's going to operate on you, that's thank God for medicine in that sense. But in some
Mm-hmm.
level as well, and this is just as a sideline, you know, to work with doctors. And I'm, you know what, I'm really looking forward to the day when you have a doctor who is a medical doctor, but he also recognizes that you might need some vibrational therapy. But if
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if you have cancer, you know, like, I mean, there's certain things you can take, but you can also work with the vibration as well. I would love to see that where it's a combination of the two. But anyways, I digress. But the thing is that when you have an issue and you see that the new ways of vibrational medicine are working, then you can go with that. But also, I think that the human body is changing. Our bodies are changing in such a way that they're starting to vibrate higher for those who have chosen the higher vibration path, you know? And so
Mm-hmm.
the 3D, you know, pills and things, while they can still have an effect, I think our bodies are changing and are going to need something a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more, you know, vibrationally correct for what you know, some of the things that we're dealing with. Our bodies are changing, so we need a different type of medicine. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about that, but
Well, that's how they do it in other worlds.
yeah.
In the other realities that I've been in, they have these what I call healing pods,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like they kind of open up like a clamshell, and you climb inside, and it's kind of like mossy, moist, like
Mm-hmm.
a forest part. You know what you would see in a floor of a
Mm-hmm.
forest
Yeah.
in there. The top comes down, and we're treated with frequencies, light, like images, lights,
Mm-hmm.
sounds, smells. It's all frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, when you come out of there, you feel like $1 million, and it's
Yeah.
really hard to come back to being human.
You know, sometimes when I'm talking about certain things, I studied film, so I have a much more film sort of library in my head. And I remember the film. It was the film Stargate. And in
Mm-hmm.
Stargate, that came out in the 90s, the Egyptian god put himself into some sort of like sarcophagus. And it would,
Sarcophagus,
remember
yeah.
that? And it would open
Mm-hmm.
up, and then his body was sort of old and kind of, you know, broken and all that kind of stuff. And he put himself in a sarcophagus, and the thing closed, and it had all these frequencies and everything going down.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and his body was like, you know, like new. Now, as much as that is a film, I've heard of how in ancient Egypt and in Atlantis they were using this type of technology, sound
Yep.
frequencies, and using
Yep.
water and sound frequencies in ancient Egypt to actually heal the body, because ancient Egypt, it took a lot of its medicine and a lot of its understanding from Atlantis. So it's not surprising, but in Atlantis this was definitely there, and that this is what they were using. They were not using like, here, take some pills and there you go. That wasn't the case. You know, I mean, you could have taken some herbs, you know, or some herbal teas, which is like, you know, traditional Chinese
Again, that's
medicine,
frequency.
but it
Still,
was all
again, that's
frequency.
frequency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, so I
Hmm.
think it's sort of, in some ways, we're sort of coming sort of full circle. I think and for the longest time, we were in the dark night of the soul, and so we've been through all this darkness and all that, and we're coming up the other end, and so we are finding back our roots from Atlantis, and a lot of the organ generators that you're making and a lot of the type of things that you're making is something that would have been found in Atlantis. And this is something that, and it's interesting because Atlantis has always been there, but it's always been in the I don't know how to express myself in the stratosphere, but it's always been there in conscious memory and the collective memory, but it's also its vibration has been within the stratosphere of this planet. And so we're always reminded of it, because it's interesting how, you know, an idea comes and goes and people sort of forget about it. But somehow Atlantis is something that people have consistently come back again and again and again and again, and we don't seem to forget about it. Why?
Hmm.
You understand? So like
Hmm.
it's this is the type of thing. So if I may say, I think that it's sort of like you're channeling a lot of that knowledge from Atlantis, and you're now producing all that. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's
Well, you might be right. I don't know.
mm-hmm,
I honestly don't know. I don't know where half the stuff I know comes from. It
mm-hmm,
just comes to me. And the funny thing about my spiritual gifts too is that if I want to show off, it doesn't work.
mm-hmm,
You know, there are people who have gifts that they can use on demand.
mm-hmm,
I don't have that.
mm-hmm,
It's completely up to source or my higher self when I have the abilities that I have. But they're very profound when they happen. But I can't say, I can't. I can't stroke my ego and say, "Oh yeah, I'm so great. I did this and that." No,
yeah,
as soon as I do that, it won't even work. But
mm-hmm,
it's very, very interesting. If you, when you read my first book too,
mm-hmm,
you'll get an in-depth look at some of my high strangeness, but also what it was like aboard the big ship.
mm-hmm,
It's very detailed,
mm-hmm,
and it's a completely different way of being. And after experiencing that, that has made me want to be more like them.
okay,
It makes me want to try harder to be patient, to be more loving, to be kind, you know, to be generous,
mm-hmm,
to exercise mercy. All of those things is really
yeah,
quite interesting. But I want other people to have these experiences too, because I'm not some kind of a special born kind of a creature. I'm just
mm-hmm.
really, really ordinary. And if I can have these experiences, I'm convinced everyone else can too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I have some couple of comments here. I have an interesting comment from Kelly Wacker. She says, "But if we are in the fifth dimension, we won't be physically here or seen. We will be light bodies." And you know, Kelly, you're right. Once we're in the fifth dimension fully, but I think the transition period from the third dimension, fourth and fifth, as we're transitioning and we're making our way towards the fifth dimension, the way in which our bodies react to frequency and to different types of crystals and different types of tones is going to be much more increased, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So I think that as we're making our way towards that, towards the other end of the spectrum, our bodies are going to be responding a lot more to frequency than to, let's say, 3D pills, that sort of thing. So that's sort of what I was trying to get across. Did you want to add to that?
I do because
Yeah.
about when I first moved to Alberta,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was communing with my guides, for lack of a better word, and I was out for a walk, and I said, they said, Karen, if you love the 3D, you're going to love the 5D even more. And I said, I'm afraid to leave the 3D. I said, I like it. I like the wind in my hair and the sounds of birds and picking up cool rocks. And I like it here. I really do. And
Mm-hmm.
they said, well, the fifth D is going to feel very much the same. So although I won't have a solid three-dimensional world or a three-dimensional body, I will perceive myself as me,
Mm-hmm.
and everything works a little differently. they said that it appears almost the same, but it's a completely different system. For instance, we have to eat in order to stay alive. Plants need nutrition as well, so they can grow, and so do animals. Well, in the fifth or fourth and fifth, what happens is the energy just feeds everything.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
there's like an abundance of this energy, and it feeds everything. So you still have the perception of the wind and the grass and the trees and my body, but it won't be exactly the same. But for all intents and purposes, it will be just as enjoyable.
Okay.
So there is a certain amount of, now I'm not saying that your commenter is wrong. I'm not
No,
meaning that
no,
at all.
no.
I'm just saying this was my understanding, is that I'm going to absolutely love it. I will self-identify as myself,
Mm-hmm.
and there'll be certain aspects of physicality that will be mimicked in that, but we won't have to eat. And if you don't want to, you don't have to eat or sleep, or
Mm-hmm.
you can just pursue your passions, which is going to be very cool.
Exactly. And I do have another interesting comment here from AML. And actually, well, just before I read that one, Kelly says Reiki helps. Now, helps better. Now, you know what's interesting, Kelly, is that Reiki is, again, energetic. You see? You're right. Reiki does help, but Reiki is also, I remember when I first got exposed to Reiki. I mean, I'm talking back early 90s. I remember that I met a person who was doing Reiki, and I didn't get it. I was like, what? But she was doing it, and some people were into it, and that was kind of cool. And now you have so many people that are into Reiki, and so many people that are, working with it and all that kind of stuff. And so much has happened. And that's what I mean, is that our vibrations are changing. And so people are being more attracted to Reiki because it is going to help the body, and it's helping the body at an energetic level. And that's exactly what we need as we're moving into 5D. So that's perfectly right with Reiki. I have here AML says, and AML is making the comment that I did about the movie Stargate when he goes into the sarcophagus. And it says here, some galactics call them restoration beds. Now, since you are familiar with galactics, Karen, is that something like what I talked about, the restoration in the movie? Is that something that they work with as well? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is that something that they work with in terms of restoring the body?
Not exactly.
No.
You see, when I was aboard the big ship, I'm not 100% sure how I got there. I never had a spaceship come and pick me up, with aliens come and pick me up and take me off someplace. It didn't happen that way for me. It happened for me in my sleep. And I've had many other transdimensional experiences while I'm asleep as well. So I don't 100% know how it works, but I do know, and I'm also not familiar with the galactics that people here on Earth have contact with.
Mm-hmm.
I can only speak to my own experience. But everybody seemed very physical when I was there. I was very physical. I was eating, I was sleeping. I was doing all the things. I go to the bathroom. I did that while I was there. So obviously I'm there physically.
3D.
Yeah, obviously. But I don't know exactly how I got from here to there. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm there, I'm not here. When I'm here, I'm not there. That's all I know. It's very strange because we're not given concepts or language to be able to talk about this stuff. And I don't have you know, some kind of a guru who's teaching me what all this stuff means and what the terms are. No idea.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me and my friend Bob the Gray. And then I had this 3-month experience back in about 2014. And a lot of it defies explanation. So I'm sorry. I wish I could give you definite
Yeah.
answers on things,
Mm-hmm.
but some I can't. I just don't know.
Okay. Now, looking at the, just want to sort of get back to the dome generators. Now, the pyramid on your, I guess, left or right, because it's kind of hard with the screen to tell, but the one with the green, that is that symbol. What is that symbol exactly? Is that
It's
the
called it's called the seed of life.
seed of life? Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a component that
Yeah,
is
that
actually
one.
a component of that.
Okay.
So if you took one of those little tiny symbols in there,
Mm-hmm.
it would look like that.
Mm.
So that's called the seed of life, and that's in all kinds of different spiritual practices,
Mm-hmm.
and it symbolizes the Merkaba as well. So you could think of it as being two of the whoops. Oh boy, trying to. So one is the triangle going up, and
Yeah.
one is the triangle going down,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's just little symbols that represent the chakras on the outside, but the inside, the seed of life, is a component of the flower of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Kelly had made an interesting comment. And she says here, lapis lazuli was used to be used as a paint during Egyptian times. And what's interesting? They also use a lot of lapis in their jewelry. You see a lot of the sort of sarcophagus, a lot of lapis lazuli. Very, very powerful stone. Did you want to just sort of like go over some of the traits of lapis lazuli? I know we talked about it earlier, but for people who are maybe coming a little bit later to the talk, do you want to just sort of review that again?
Well, lapis lazuli is a very powerful protection stone,
Mm-hmm.
especially against spirit entities
Okay.
and things like that. I'm not an expert on lapis lazuli, but I know that it corresponds quite well to the third eye chakra, opens you up for spiritual contact.
Mm-hmm.
So it not only opens you up for spiritual contact, it does so with a very powerful protection element. So people that are worried about making different kinds of contact because they're worried about getting, demons or malevolent grays or God knows what, that we could be afraid of nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Lapis lazuli is definitely a really, really good stone. And one of the angels that I sell also is lapis lazuli.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the butterflies,
Yeah.
I have lapis lazuli in there too.
Yeah.
So it's really, really common. Usually for the throat is turquoise or sodalite, but sodalite can also
Mm-hmm.
be for the third eye. Sorry, I don't have a lot of technical
No,
information
no, it's
as to
fine.
what it's made out of. I just know how I use it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and it's true. Kelly's saying, "Oh, Reiki with crystals is so healing." Absolutely, because again, it's all about energy. It's all about the frequency that you're getting from the healer, and then that frequency is going through the crystal, and all that energy is now going through your body. So, like, I mean, it's so amazing when you do work like that. And I recommend Reiki very highly. I did my Reiki training as well, and I think AML also did Reiki training as well. So I think she's a Reiki master as well. So it's a very very powerful tool that we're using. And I remember last year we had some people a woman that had come in, and she was working with a center where they're actually using a lot more machines that are using frequencies. Like, I mean, some people might call them med beds, but it's actually
Mm-hmm.
using, like, you lie down in this bed, and it shoots frequency through your body. And it helps with healing any kind of issues that you have. And they find that people that, especially people who have had like a lot of PTSD or psychological issues, we're finding a lot more relief and benefits with those types of machines, as opposed to, let's say, just pills. And because you see what happens with some of the pills, people get on it, and then you have these people that have, like, addictions and all this sort of like opioid addiction. is awful, and that's so 3D. And I think it's time for us to sort of move into a next level. So like I think that I'd heard the other day that more soldiers die from suicide than they do from being shot in battle. And that's because they're having a lot of PTSD, they're having a lot of trauma. And that really should be used like Reiki, they should be using, frequency, organ generators, whatever have you. It's really, that's the type of thing that really needs to be done at an energetic level, because yes, you're suffering mentally, but it also affects your body as well, right? Because the body holds memory. So each cell is now traumatized, and you need to sort of work with that. So I think that working with different types of generators would be helpful, and helping the body. Now, I was wondering if you wanted to sort of like go over some of the items that that I bought here, and then maybe we can tell people a little bit more about it. So this is the beautiful. I'm going to just hold the paper up here so people can see it. So this is the butterfly that I'm going to get the light. The butterfly that I bought. Did you want to just tell us a little bit more about this one?
Sure. Can I see it?
Yeah,
So,
sure. I think so. You
oh
can.
yeah, carnelian and turquoise.
Yeah.
Yeah, carnelian is really good at helping you to stay focused on your true path. And turquoise is also really good for the throat chakra, but it's also a very, very soothing stone. So that what's interesting about that is the carnelian with the turquoise is the same combination that I have in one of my pyramids that generally men are attracted to. And you were saying earlier that you have your horoscope zodiac sign is
Yeah,
more male than
it
feminine.
is.
I thought that was really interesting that you ended up choosing that butterfly. So what I would do with that butterfly is you could literally, like when you're meditating, you could actually place it on your forehead,
Oh,
or you could place it on your throat, or
okay.
you could place it on your heart. You can also place it on your sacral chakra. Excuse me, I have to cough. And but the two work very, very beautifully together. So you're stimulating both your sacral chakra and your throat chakra at the same time when you're using the butterfly. But yeah, I definitely recommend you take it in the bath. Not saying you need a bath, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
if you wanted to try that. And
Yeah,
it's great
smell.
because so like the butterfly, depending on how you're built, you can tuck that into your bra, you could tuck it into your purse. Like it's very user friendly, and also butterflies symbolize transformation
Yeah,
as
exactly.
well, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah. And also, I also like the fact that I can just sort of just, put it in my pocket, put it in my pants, that sort of thing.
yeah.
And so the next one that I got here is this one
Oh,
here.
citrine and amethyst, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just want to make sure people can see it because the light is a bit, Andy, is the light, are you getting it? Okay. So this is the one that also I got, and it's citrine amethyst. And did you want to tell us a little bit more about that one as well?
Yeah, that one is more, that one there is I would say the first butterfly that you shared is more for focus and more of a relaxed falling into sync with your with how your life is supposed to be.
Okay.
The second one with the amethyst and the citrine is definitely a mood lifter.
Okay.
That is the same combination that I have in a pyramid that I call springtime joy. Because, when you're starting to, I don't know about you, but by March, I'm starting to crave summer pretty
Yeah,
bad,
yeah,
right?
cabin fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that combination of stones is ideal
Okay.
to help lift your spirits. Amethyst is just such a beautiful, of course, that's your crown
Of
chakra,
course.
but it's such a gentle and beautiful, it's in the quartz family, very powerful, clearing crystal. Citrine is also quartz, so it's very powerful, but citrine definitely lifts your mood. It's also really good for your solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps you to be calm and to be more joyful. And I
Okay.
just love that combination.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing with those and having them around me. And the another one that I got here that I got was this one here. Now I think this is the one with the lapis, and I think this is also a good stone for Sagittarius as well. And so if you wanted to sort of and you know, just by the way, I have an Aries rising, so I have a lot of fire, and I think the carnelian is really good, and I think that's probably why I naturally gravitated towards that. But for this one here, the lapis lazuli, and I think there's turquoise in this one as well. So
Yeah,
two of my
it is.
birthstones, you know, for
It is.
Sagittarius. Yeah.
It's
Did you want to comment on
turquoise.
that?
It's turquoise and lapis lazuli. So it is very good for all of this. So for speaking, for your throat chakra, it's also good for your higher heart chakra. And it's really good for opening up your third eye, making you more receptive to paranormal experiences and paranormal contact. And it's a very powerful protection. So
Okay.
you can open all of this up without worrying about any nefarious attachments or entities.
And I just want to make sure these organ generators. Now, the ones that are, for example, the pyramid shaped, that I can put on my computer or in areas of my house and do that. Now, the butterflies, am I able to sort of, I can put it on my body? Can I do that for a long period of time, or am I allowed to only do like a certain period of time? I'm not sure if I
It's
was
up to
clear about
you.
that.
There are very few rules when it comes to energy healing. You know when you need more, and you know when you've had enough. And you might have enough and not even want to pick it up for a month, and then all of a sudden you go, oh my God, I need that, and you'll
Okay.
pick it up.
Okay.
And so the butterflies are also can go under your mattress when you're sleeping, under your pillow. They're just very user friendly with the way in a different way than yeah, pyramids. You don't want to sleep with a pyramid.
Yeah. No.
I
No.
also have I also have these. I'm sitting on this one for my root chakra.
Okay.
Okay, so I have some that are this size and this shape, and they've got a spiral on either side, which works as an amplifier.
Yeah.
This one here is hematite.
Okay.
And I often get a sore back when I'm on the computer. And
Okay.
hematite also very powerful for
For protection.
yes, for protection and for cleansing and for the root chakra. So I just actually have it tucked under the back of my bum when I'm doing
Okay.
podcasts because it then I don't get a sore back. And
Okay.
it's amazing. So hematite has been used for healing for many, many
Absolutely.
years. And this is a
Absolutely.
really nice size. I have this in also amethyst, citrine, and turquoise,
Okay.
as well as hematite. And it's very soft, so you can actually sleep on it and it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
So it doesn't give you any
Yeah. Well, it's better than the
discomfort.
pyramid, that's for sure. No sharp objects, you know?
Yeah, it's very, very smooth, and you can actually even use it for massage as a massage tool
Oh, that's
as
nice.
well.
There
So
you go.
I didn't show that one, but
Yeah.
anyway, so there's all kinds. Some of them, like I said, I only have one left of. Some I have a couple. Some of them I have probably. Some of them I have quite a few,
Okay.
depending. I've got some that are a bit smaller than this that are
Oh, that's nice.
amethyst on the top and
That's a shungite?
nope, this is black tourmaline.
Black tourmaline. Okay.
Yeah, that are a little bit smaller than this, and they have, okay, what's the stone I keep forgetting that you keep reminding me
Obsidian?
of? Obsidian,
Yeah.
thank you. They're half black obsidian and then amethyst on the top, and that's called, I call it evil be gone because it repels negative, like it doesn't just take care of EMF. It's specifically designed for attachments and negative entities.
Okay.
And things that go boom, boom in the night and things that we don't want to come out from under the covers and even look at.
Mm-hmm.
So I call it evil be gone because it dispels evil, any kind of evil.
Okay, cool. And so next up is this one here that this has the flower of life. I think that you can see the flower of life right there. And if I'm not mistaken, this has, I think, either fluorite or it has amethyst.
I think it's fluorite.
I think it's fluorite. Okay.
It should say on the back.
Yeah,
Did you
I
turn
think
the
so.
pen?
Okay, there it is. Yeah, fluorite, copper, flower of life. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to, because I'm not familiar with the fluorite as much. Did you want to,
Again, it
mhm.
there's a lot of overlap between, what crystals will do for you, but fluorite is also very good for opening you up spiritually and protecting you at the same time.
Okay.
I call it revive because I found that when I wear it, I feel a little bit more energy than when I don't wear it.
Okay.
And it normally comes in a with just like a cloth, or not cloth, but like a fabric
Like a sachet
um
or something? That kind of thing?
it no, it comes with, sorry. I'm I'm old and I get tired and then I can't think clearly.
Okay.
Um no, it's usually comes with a cord, a soft cord
Yeah.
instead of a chain. But
Hmm.
I included silver for you for
Yeah.
both pendants so
Yeah, I
that
have
you
that.
would
Yeah.
have a nicer, chain. So what I recommend is if you get the pendant, then you might want to take it off the cord
Mm-hmm.
and put it on a sturdy chain or put it on
Mm-hmm.
another thing that goes around your neck that holds it, or you
Yeah.
could even use that in the bath
Yeah, I
too,
think that
actually.
yeah, I think the silver is quite nice. I think that that's very, very pretty. And I think last but not least, we have the I think this is the moss agate, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's the
And
last one of
that's really,
those.
really pretty. That's really, really pretty. It's nice and green. And as we discussed before, the green is sort of like, I think, for the heart chakra.
Yep, it
Yeah?
is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And did you want to tell us a little bit more about this one? About the
Actually would have to look it up. I'm sorry.
okay. But the moss agate is definitely a green stone. And when I saw it, I really liked it. I don't know. Like, I mean, it sounds kind of like silly, but I really sort of uh, I like the fact that it does have a beautiful green color. And it's funny
Mm-hmm.
because usually I'm more of a purple girl. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm an absolute purple girl, but it's very typical of Sag. We like the purples and the blues. And so that's for me. But when I saw this, I really liked it because the green somehow attracted me. And I'm not usually attracted to green. But
Mm-hmm.
the green, this I don't know. There's something about the green in this one that sort of just called to me. So this is the reason why I got it because I just thought, well, this is really pretty, and I
I
can't wait to
really
wear it.
like it. I just looked it up to jog my
Yeah.
memory, and what it does is it fosters connection, abundance, and healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually in the Chalcedony family.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't actually have moss in it. It's just
No,
called
no.
moss agate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's great.
Yeah.
And I have an interesting comment here. Yeah, AML is does I was right. She has done Reiki training and is as a crystal healing and an energy healing. So for those of you who know, it's AML. It's Angela, and she's often on our show. So also look her up as well. She's worked a lot with those things. Now, this is an interesting comment from Kelly. And I think this sort of goes back to our comment about, in some ways, a comment about how you were taken aboard these ships.
Mm-hmm.
And she says here, sometimes you won't remember if you are taken upon a ship. Pieces of us are in different dimensions at the same time. And that makes sense because we are multidimensional. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have
Mm-hmm.
multifacets, multi-dimensions. Do you feel that this is maybe a part of you was on the ship while you were here as well? Because I think when you talked about your story in the discussion group, you talked about how maybe you want to just tell us, for people who are not familiar, tell us a little bit more about that story again, about what happened.
Okay. Um, Okay.
I mean, the
So
abridged version, obviously.
yeah, I will give you the bridge version.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it started one night. I went to bed just like usual, went to sleep, and I had the most amazing adventure. I woke up in the morning and I went, I had to have been dreaming that. That can't be real. But I went to bed that night and it picked up exactly where it left off. So it
Mm.
was completely congruent. So for 3 months of our Earth time, every time I went to bed at night, I'd fall asleep and I'd pick up exactly where I left off. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like in the morning, I was waking up, I was in my Earth, in my apartment here on Earth, everything was the same. Go to bed at night, and there's also a time dilation. So I'd be gone for days, weeks, even months. But then I'd wake up and it would be the very next morning. It was really psychologically, it was very hard for me to have that experience.
Okay.
So, and I didn't really know how I got there. It would have been a lot easier for me to figure out if I had been picked up in a spaceship and taken to another place. So I wanted to know, where was this, what you would probably, your audience would think of as a mothership? Where
Mm-hmm.
is it located? Is it in this realm? Is it in another realm? Is it in somewhere else in the universe? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get a sense of where it is. And it took me some time to figure out that the big ship, what I call the big ship, where I go, is actually in interdimensional space. So it's not anywhere, it's here and it's nowhere all at the same time. And if you think of it like a Venn diagram,
Okay.
think of a daisy with 100 petals on it. And all the daisy petals are connected at the center of the daisy. And each petal represents a different reality, a different dimensional reality, a different place on the timeline, a different position within the multiverse. It could be the angelic realms. It could be from realms that we've never even heard of or never even imagined. And they all overlap at the center, and that's where the big ship is. So it sits in interdimensional space. So I didn't have 100% physical experience, and yet I had a physical experience. So I was thinking, how the heck does my body get there? And why do I feel so good when I'm there?
Mm-hmm.
And so in my book, I've described it the best that I can, that it seems to me I was originally there physically. I was somehow, my body was there, but I can't explain how or why because I don't have those pieces of my memory that will tell me how I got there. But soon after that, I realized I had such exceptional health when I was there. And when I came back in the morning, before I wake up, and then I'd wake up, I'd have all my aches and pains and imperfections.
Okay.
Why, when I'm aboard the big ship, am I in perfect health? And why am I broken when I'm here?
Okay.
Well, it's because I have a clone body aboard the big ship. I
Okay.
have one that's healthy and younger and just works properly. And somehow my consciousness is switched from here on Earth to being aboard the big ship. And that's the best I can describe it from my experience.
Okay, wow. That's really interesting. And if you want to know more about Karen's experience, you can watch her video that is posted on our channel. That was from November 27th, 2025. So you can take a look at that. And also she'll be back here in about 2 weeks and she'll be talking about her second book, but I guess we'll also be touching upon her first book as well. And her first book, Transdimensional Meet the New Neighbors, will be talking more about her experiences. That's in the first video that we did back on the 27th. And then the second book is talking more about her experiences with the Greys, and we'll be looking more at this book as well and talking about that. So if you're interested in finding out more about Karen's experiences, please join us again in 2 weeks. We'd love to have you back again. And
Thank you. And my
as
books are available on Amazon,
mm-hmm.
and they're also available from my website, but they're signed copies. So if you want a signed copy, you need to order it from the website. But
Okay.
if you just want a copy, the quickest way to get it would be
Mm-hmm.
through Amazon. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah. But and I just wanted to also ask, when it comes to the generators, when you have them, in a room, do you, when you've placed them, 'cause you said you've placed them in different parts of your house, do you actually feel like the funnels? I know you showed a picture before about a funnel of energy. Do you actually feel
Mhm.
that when it's in your house? Like, do you actually feel like whoosh things?
No,
No.
no, I've never felt anything like that. But what I do notice
Mm-hmm.
is from having them in the house is, and then this is going to sound weird,
Mm-hmm.
but I basically don't have any problems. You know, all the things
Like
that
physical
people talk
problems.
about, mental, physical, financial, spiritual, familial, social,
Oh.
I don't really have any problems. I
Oh.
don't have any problems. It's really,
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to say that because I don't want to make other people feel bad because they have so many problems. And I'm not saying if you get my orgone generators, all your problems are going
And
to
you
go
win the
away.
lottery? No.
No,
No.
no. I mean, I'm not a rich person,
Mm-hmm.
certainly not a rich person,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I have enough. I
Okay.
have enough of everything I need, so I'm not worrying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was able to get out of weird stuff, like get out of debt.
Okay.
I lost over 150 pounds.
Oh.
Uh, I'm not saying that my orgone generators are going to do that for any of you. I can't explain it. All I'm saying is this was my experience.
Okay.
Since I started getting them and using them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding definitely a huge improvement in my life.
Okay. And
Yeah.
definitely, well, I'd love to sort of find out which one made you lose that 150 pounds. Because, Lord knows, especially with the holidays coming up, I'll take 10, please.
Listen, I have been through everything. I mean, I was over 320
Wow.
pounds my whole adult life. I tried everything. I went to Weight Watchers. I went to TOPS, which stands for Take Off Pounds Sensibly.
Mm-hmm.
I tried drugs that the doctors recommended. I
Mm-hmm.
tried starving. I tried everything, and I was not able to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
But then when my frequency started to raise, and I started having all these experiences with ETs and
Mm-hmm.
finding out about orgonite and everything else. I just started to lose weight. I can't explain it. My
Hmm.
health started to improve. My mental health started to improve. I have a lot less contact with people now. I do through social media and stuff, but I don't necessarily have company and I don't necessarily go and hang out with people very much. I'm not really sure why.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shift in, I'm just very content
Mm-hmm.
and I have all kinds of things I want to be doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, plus, it's kind of, unless I'm on social media, I don't really find people locally that I
Mm-hmm.
could even talk to in
Oh.
an open and honest way about my life because they wouldn't be able to handle it. I don't know
Okay.
why.
Well, I mean, for those of us who are Canadian, Alberta maybe doesn't come across as the most, maybe the most. How should I say?
It's the Texas of
It's a Texas
Canada.
of the North.
It is. And I moved here from Vancouver Island.
Oh my
On
God!
Vancouver Island,
Of
it's
all
very,
places.
yes, very progressive.
Oh my God!
Very, very progressive. And then I moved here and I knew I wasn't in Kansas anymore. But you know what? I actually was told to move here
Okay.
because I know this is going to sound arrogant and I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean it at all because I'm really an ordinary person,
Mm-hmm.
but I needed to move here to raise the frequency of central Alberta. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying I alone am raising the
Mm-hmm.
frequency
Mm-hmm.
of Alberta, but I'm contributing
Absolutely.
to the raising of frequency here in
Absolutely.
central
Yeah.
Alberta.
No.
And that's why I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I found out it was cheaper to live here,
Oh,
way
there you go.
cheaper.
Yeah, but no, it's
Yeah.
not. That's not the. That happens often where people are being asked to move to certain areas to help in the raising the vibration of a certain area, and I definitely believe that. And a lot of people who've actually come on this channel and all that have been said, have said, look, I was asked to move to a certain area by a higher source because I needed to work in a certain area. And you might be there for a while, and then after that you're asked to go somewhere else to sort of help at that place and everything as well. So, you know, you're here to sort of fill little pockets, little holes, and we all have a job to do. So, you know, you're brave. Because I'm Canadian.
I am.
I
Here I was. I was over 60 years old, and I packed everything into a U-Haul and I drove it out here. Yeah.
That's great. But like, I mean, you look great. And, you know, but you know what though? I went to Alberta back in, almost 20 years ago. Oh my God, I'm dating myself now. I went back in 2006, I think. And I remember being with someone, and we were driving through Banff. And it was October, so it was quite late in the season, and we were driving through Banff, and I kid you not, I could hear, like, you know how Banff is a lot of mountains and, like, you know, tall mountains and, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and these fjord, all that kind of stuff. And we were driving through, and it was a little dark, but it was still kind of dusk, but we were driving through, and I could hear the mountains talking to one another. And they were the sound of Native American, older Native American women in the mountains that were talking to one another. And I heard this, and I was just sort of like, what is going on? But I do remember I do remember that the air was much clearer there. It was much fresher. And I remember the energy was very high. You know, while, like, again, Canadians, we make a lot of fun about Alberta, but I will say that the energy is quite strong and quite high in Alberta, which is something I was not expecting at all. I really thought it was going to be like really cowtown. And I have to say that when we were driving through Banff, maybe because it's the mountains, I don't know, but I've never felt the energy being that strong. And I remember buying some crystals at a crystal shop because there wasn't many there at the time. Maybe now it'll be different, you know, but at the time I bought some amethyst, and it was just like, whoa, like it was just absolutely powerful. So there's something going on in Alberta. I don't know, but it's definitely a place that is very, very strong. And I think that maybe with the shift, maybe we'll see a different version of Alberta. Who knows? Who knows, you know? Anyway, so I know that it's kind of late for you now, isn't it? As we're getting there. Yeah. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody that joined us an hour early. I know that some people were not expecting it, but we had to start an hour early today. And I'm so glad that you joined us. And I absolutely enjoyed talking with you, Karen. Karen, thank you so much for coming out and speaking with us about your beautiful and powerful creations. And I absolutely love, I'm going to be playing with this one. This is the
Lapis
lazuli and turquoise. I'm really looking forward to working with this one because that's definitely that's my jam. And definitely check out in the link below. You'll see a link to Karen's website. You can find everything there. Very, very, very reasonably priced. I have to say, I was surprised, you know. And so check it out. And again, come back. We'll be back with Karen again in 2 weeks. We'll be having a discussion, and you'll be able to speak with her directly. So looking forward to, if you want to speak with her directly and ask her questions directly, please join us in about 2 weeks to talk with her. So I'm really looking forward to that. And
Boxing Day.
I'm sorry?
It's on Boxing Day.
It's on Boxing Day, exactly, the 26th on Boxing Day. So we'll have a lot. So instead of going out there and shopping and spending your money and on nonsense, come and talk with us and have some interesting conversations that we can share. And also your reflections, because it'll be the end of the year. We're getting close to the end of the year. It went by so fast. Is it just me?
Sure did.
It went by super fast. Like it was March, and I was like, bang, it's summer, and bang, it's like, it's the fall, and bang, here we are in December. I'm like, what's happening? So it's going to be a good time to reflect. And it's also going to be a time where it's going to be, I think, we have on the 19th, we have a special presentation about Three-Eye Atlas. So that's going to be interesting to talk about as well. So we have a lot to talk about between the 19th and the 26th. So I'm really hoping that people, you'll be here with us and join us as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as you know, and leave comments. Leave comments. I answer your comments. That also helps our channel as well. When you leave comments, it helps with the algorithm and all that. So please help us out. And if you have any questions or any comments, guys, don't forget to contact Karen. You can connect with her on her link below. And just want to say thank you so much, Karen, for coming out tonight and speaking with us. Your questions are absolutely beautiful. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. So guys, thank you for being with us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. All right. So take care. That's great. I absolutely love it.